Okay. So we are ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. So tonight, Thursday meditation teaching and practice. First, I will do a supplication. 좀 바로 공부 주신 점에 연어 차서로 관계를 리미리링 인덤더르즈베 증의도 지진이거든. 건더즈베저런 머리문도 동의 기세베 조소군의 부식더제이나 조소군의 부식더제이나 주지 인더수 루더처럼 뇨모니로 내가지고 지진 머리 무슨 동의 증의 지세를 되네서 주스주더는 되네서 게세테베고 주라준의 중인이 다른 무슨 잠프리 연어디 엄마랍잖아데 머랍잖아데 머랍잖아 Marapanadim, 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 Marapanadim. Marapanadim, 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 Marapanadim. Marapanadim, 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 Marapanadim. Marapanadim, Marapanadi, Kurgum de Jiji, Ubetana, Sherabrit. Lima Zime Chugiku, Gumbo Jambayana, Chansa, Kazet, Kurgum de Jiji, Ubetana, Sherabritanum, Lima Zime Jimich. Gumbo Jambayana Chazadu, Kurgum de Jiji, Ubetana, Sherabritanum, Lima Zime Jimich. Gumbo Jambayana, Chance, Kazet Tower the Bomb, choose it to Bordoni. Gumbo Jamie de Inki, Keme Parianton Ware Show. So, first of all, I'd like to mention about bodhicitta mind. Why bodhicitta mind is so important in our life. And it's almost without bodhicitta mind, we may not able to experience any kind of happiness. And then when we talk about bodhicitta mind is described in the teaching as two parts. One which is known as conventional bodhicitta or relative bodhicitta mind, and one which is known as absolute or unconventional bodhicitta mind. Now, before we get into the absolute or the unconventional bodhicitta mind, we should first get into relative or the conventional bodhicitta mind. So when we talk about the relative bodhicitta mind, then it is talking about intention. And the intention plays a very important role in our life. And sometimes we even ask, what's your intention, for example? Because you judge a person or you come to understand a person, what type of intention he or she has. Her intention is good, his intention is good or bad. So we very much, whether we want to make friends with someone to experience joy and happiness and trust, that we like to know that person's character, which is his intention or her intention. So therefore, intention or motivation is the first and foremost important thing, that whatever we do in our life, and the result will be a byproduct of that intention, our aspiration, our goal, what we set, is based on our intention. Whether it's secular world or whether it's spiritual world. So intention plays extremely important if one is to succeed on the spiritual path. Then more than ever you need a very positive intention. You need the intention stepping out of your self-centeredness, the intention that which includes all being to achieve happiness, not just alone for yourself, but for all beings. That type of intention is extremely important. The concern for others, the respect for others, the caring for others. Now we can look further, if you read the Mahayana texts, Dharma texts, first of all, any text of Dharma, and particularly Mahayana texts, how it talks about that bodhicitta mind, that intention being so important. A genuine intention, not an appearance. Appearance or verbal expression, we can talk about nice things, and we can appear to be nice. But perhaps our intention may be not pure. It's just a deception, ego's grandiose deception. That you try to appear in a certain way, you try to talk in a certain way. Normally, I'm not talking about every politician, but during an election year, then, all politicians, they sounded like bodhisattvas. And though the intention may be totally different, maybe it's self-grandiose, but it appears like, a compassionate, a concern. Well, that's not going to work. You may be able to deceive someone for the time being, but the biggest deception you play on yourself, actually you're playing the biggest deception on yourself. You may not realize, but you're doing that exactly. It is that very reason why we are still roaming in samsara endlessly, because we have been deceiving ourselves. Our intention whether it's a negative intention or whether it's a naive intention. But there's a lot of naive intention too. Not realizing that all your thoughts are going towards the self-centered mind. You only think of the profit for yourself. You don't have any concern for others' well-being, others' happiness. But the whole thing is focused, absorbed into self-centeredness. And you can say that's a naive or ignorant intention. Intention coming out of ignorance, out of the self-centeredness, ego. And if you don't correct that, that can be detrimental in your state of being. That is why we end up in endless problems in the cycle of our life. Because due to many karmas we created intentionally or unintentionally, or deceptively or naively, at the end they all become deception. They become deception to oneself and they become deception to others. And furthermore, the intention is very clearly connected with cause and effect. Anything you do out of ignorance or afflictive emotion, as I said, naively or unnaively, maybe in another distorted way, such as a deception. You literally knowing that I'm going to deceive that person, but not knowing that you're deceiving yourself. That is, if we know that, oh, by deceiving others, I'm going to deceive myself, then you probably would not do that. So therefore, I'm calling it naive way of deception, intention, naive intention. That you don't know the long run, the ramification of that afflictive emotion, the deception, the self-centeredness, how that can destroy you, how they can destroy your happiness, your peace, your calm abiding mind. And that's why it's very dangerous. As long as you are living in the three poison state, ignorant, aggression, and attachment, they are like especially when we talk about a deception, trying to steal someone's property or money, whatever, or try to deceive that person knowingly. And then even you gain that for the time being from that person. But at the end, you will destroy yourself. Why? Because cause and effect. Cause and effect is the universal law. Cause and effect is physics or universal law that by nature our life function based on cause and effect. Simply on cause and effect. There's no third agent trying to determine and try to, put you here or put you there. It's the very nature of cause and effect which determines your life situation. Your life situation, good or bad, or any way, happens due to cause and effect. And that's based on intention. Whether naively or deceptively. And as I said, even you deceptively knowing that you're deceiving someone, but you're not knowing you're deceiving yourself. That's the ignorant. As I said, if you know you're going to hurt yourself, you will never do that. So not knowing that the long-term ramification which is going to happen to you, we engage in all the unvirtuous thing or activity which is going to harm ourselves. So it's like a honey on a razor's edge. You try to lick the honey on a razor's and it will cut yourself, your tongue, and bleed and harm and bring suffering to you. That's exactly our life situation, we experience due to attachment, due to that, the basic ignorant and the basic clinging which comes with it ignorant. And then comes the self-centeredness, the self-cherishing. And then, in byproduct, since it's a wrong intelligence, a misconstrued intelligence, ignorant, then it, by nature, its nature is suffering and pain. So we need to recognize that and need to work with that, whether it's ignorant, aggression, attachment, envy, jealousy, all the passions and neuroses are all our cause of our suffering, are coming from that, not from anybody else. It's just our confusion, mind confusion. Because if you experience happiness, it's in your mind. And if you experience confusion, that's also in your mind. It's not popping up on the right side of the space, and it's not popping up on the left side of the space. They all, if you say they are popping up, it's popping up in your mind. The confusion is popping out to your mind, and then the joy is also coming out of your mind. So, seeing the mind clearly is so important. And the guidelines of the mind is so clearly explained in the Dharma teaching. How you work with the mind, how you work with ignorance, how you work with attachment, how you work with aggression. On the level of Hinayana level. Then furthermore, how you work with the three points in the Mahayana level. Then furthermore, how you work on the Mahamudra level and Dzogchen level. How the mind can eliminate those neuroses. The inherent quality exists in your mind to purify, to transcend, and to find liberation and find enlightenment. It's all just in this one mind. So this one mind represents samsara, and this one mind also is represent nirvana. There's no nirvana beside your mind, and there's no samsara beside your mind. So Buddha emphasized from the Four Noble Truth teaching in a vast and extensive way, all the way to the highest of yana, from the 9 yanas, from the Hinayana level to the Adi Mahasandhi Dzogchen level. What the mind consists, and how the minds get confused and wrong, at what point, and at what point how you deal with that. So we need to study Dharma, we need to reflect on the Dharma, and we need to practice meditation. So now, since we see on the relative level of intention is so important, therefore, if you look at the Mahayana teaching or Bodhisattva Avatara teaching by Shantideva, so extensively on intention. If you look at it, there are 10 chapters in the Bodhisattva Avatara teaching. Out of the 10 chapters, the 8 chapters are on relative intention, you can say. And then the ninth chapter is primarily focused on unconventional state of mind. I wouldn't particularly call it intention, because when you say word intention, it's more dualistic. Intention, what I'm going to do with that. In the non-dual sphere, there's neither, the question of what I'm going to do with that doesn't exist, because if there is no such thing as fundamentally I, the very notion of I is expression of ignorance. If that doesn't exist, then how come the other exists? So that's showing the Pajna Paramita, the ninth chapter, the transcendent awareness. And Chris Monson has given teaching on the Bodhichara Avatar teaching, how we shape ourselves in this phenomenal world is the intention of bodhicitta. And Shantideva, the great, incredible bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who came in this world and who today, perhaps on intention and the phenomenal state of existence, whether it's conventional existence and even unconventional existence, if you can really grasp the meaning of the Bodhichara Avatar teaching from chapter 1 to chapter 10, you don't need anything else. You can say that you are the master of the universe because everything is there. You can shape yourself in. I'm not talking about shaping an ego, but I'm talking about shaping your mind. First chapter, second chapter, third chapter, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. And what each chapter is talking about? From a gross mind to subtle mind, to subtle and subtle, to the primordial level of awareness on the ninth chapter. Shedding all our obscurations of duality. And that means shedding all our neurosis and seeing the clear light of our awareness. And of course, you're not going to reach, enlightenment the second day once you finish starting the study of the Bodhichara Avatar teaching. Of course, it'll be great that you become like Shantideva the next day. It may take time, but then, while it takes time for us to reach enlightenment, the wonderful thing is your intention of genuine bodhicitta is shaping your phenomenal world, whether it's your body, or whether it's your speech, or whether it's your mind. Those three doors that we communicate with the world, that we create our world, in fact, through the three doors. That you create a conducive situation, a conducive environment, a conducive conditional situation that you can actually work on it for your benefit and for the benefit of others. And you are able to bring immense benefit to yourself and happiness, and immense benefit to others in that happiness. And that teaching contains immense knowledge and wisdom. And actually we all aspire. You may not know that, but that's actually what you want. You may not realize, okay, Shantideva is great, Bodhichara Avatar teaching great, but here I am. But every day what you're looking for, happiness and freedom and the wisdom and knowledge, is all right there in that Bodhichara Avatar teaching. Well, just let me put you one simple example on that. We all know that we all sentient beings, without exception, we all want happiness. Period. It's fundamental. There's no question about that. Rich, poor, intelligent, or stupid, or whatever, but we all want happiness. From a creature to a bug, to animals, to a human being, or to a ghost, or to someone who doesn't have form, or someone who has form, regardless, bigger form or medium form or smaller form, everyone simply wants happiness and freedom. That's what we yearn, and that's what you're doing your job. You go to the office so that you think you will make money and it bring you happiness. You don't go to work just because you're going to suffer. You're working because you're hoping something good will come out of it, which will give you happiness. You go to do exercise, you're thinking something good will come out of it. You do stretching, no matter how painful, but because you think something good will come out of it. So everything you do in life is based on, that something good will come out of it. And many times we get it wrong. We think something good will come out of it. As I said, like the naive intention and the self-centeredness, that which brings a lot of endless suffering to us. So whether it's naive intention or whether it's deceptive intention that we don't know, we're ignorant about it, who can show us the way clearly, the path, is Bodhicharavatara teaching, Shantideva. Without any question, without any doubt. You can count on it, you can trust the teaching, you can count on that teaching, and you can see yourself. Read word by word and see the meaning of that. Does it make sense, or it's just like a babble by Shantideva, that he has nothing else to do and he wrote something, or it has got a profound meaning? You will see that. And when we look about the intention, our phenomenal existence of conventional happiness, entirely based on others' goodwill, others' intention, starting with your mother, whose love and care and that intention of and that caring you has make us grow to this state. Give us from a little child that we don't know how to clean our snuff, that we don't know how to clean our shit, that we don't know how to eat, that we have mucuses and shit here and there, is the kind mother who taught us how to eat, how to clean, how to do this. It's all based on her compassion, her warmth, her love, her caring, that intention that you have nourished. And here you are today. Same thing, then in the middle, it's your friends, your people who care for you, your relatives, you can say, your friends, and all your relative happiness, whether feeling, living in a nice place, or, feeling the support of any kind, all comes from others' positive intention. Now it's so clear without any doubt that everything comes out of the warm-heartedness and loving and caring. Then that's how for you to also show that, not with the intention, okay, in the deceptive way, I want to get that, so I will try to act nice so that I can get that. Of course, you can do that. You may gain something temporarily, but then that obscuration you build with that kind of intention and ego you build up, you will be tormented at some point. You will lose everything. To the point you can go to like born in the lower realms, such as hungry ghost realm, such as animals realm. We all seen animals realm. What makes them become a bug? What makes them become a dog? What makes them become a snake or spider or creatures of all kinds? They also have the same mind. They also have their feeling. It's due to their cause and effect. That even you can deceive someone at one point, but you can't deceive all the time. And then, but what you're doing, you're deceiving yourself all the time. You can only deceive others at some time. But as far as yourself is concerned, you're deceiving it all the time. So therefore, endless samsara, you can never get out of that cyclic existence, a vicious cyclic existence. Try to meditate on the suffering of a bug. No home, naked body, no clothes to wear, no food to find, and they have to kill each other, always like in a harm's way. That kind of suffering. And there are also humans who go through like that, but lower realms are further more intense suffering due to that kind of deception. That's what we do. So we have to be careful in cause and effect. Our intention should be genuine warm-heartedness, not like deceptive way. So I will really suggest those who you have studied the Bodhichara Avatara teaching, please go through that. And I have requested Chris to please teach a next Bodhisattva teaching called Gyaltse Laglen, the practice of the Bodhisattva. It's a very profound teaching. And again, shaping up your world, which will bring joy and freedom and healing and happiness. I think they're starting sometime in October. That's a second teaching for 3 days or something. And I would highly recommend all of you, please take that course. It can tremendously benefit you. So Shantideva's Bodhichara Avatara teaching. And all these are qualities, when you read those books, you see it's within yourself. But you have not realized that you hold these qualities. You hold the 6 paramita quality. You hold the 4 immeasurable qualities. It's not something you are buying it from the Dharma, but they're inherent quality in you. But they're like dormant right now. So if it's dormant, it's no use. It's no good to you because it's not benefiting you. You can say the example would be like a beggar sleeping on the ground, and under the ground there's 2 kilos of gold. Have the beggar realized there's 2 kilos of gold underneath where he's sleeping, then it would have solved all his problem. But no realizing that it's no use, even it's right there. So same thing, all the tremendous possibilities, qualities, intelligence, and wisdom that we have, which are dormant right now. So instead of awakening those, then we awaken our neurosis. The expression in America, the hell broke loose. That's called samsara. Chaos. All it does is chaos. No peace, no calmness, no joy, uncertainty, fear. That's the only world that ignorant knows. So therefore, you can change that. So I thought, intention, whatever you do, always try to correct your intention. If you feel like you're doing deceptive mind, change that. Catch it in the first hand and don't allow yourself to go under that. Then you started doing, more mindfulness. Then slowly you will see many other things. Subtle deception, gross deception, and which all is harming to yourself, you will be able to catch it and you won't fall a prey to that. And that's the practice of Dharma. So that's, I like to talk about that. So please focus more on the study of Bodhicharyavatara teaching, and then, of course, meditation practice. So, then day-to-day life situation, which is cause and effect based on our intentions and our actions. First comes the intention, then is followed up by action, whether it's body or speech. Then the whole thing is complete. And then cause and effect, karma, is produced. And then once the karma is created, it's bound to be experienced, whether it's good or bad. So therefore, according to the Mahayana teaching, it is so important that even when the teacher gives a teaching, the teacher has to have the right kind of intention in giving the teaching genuinely with loving and care and respect to beings. And of course, the greatest thing would be the historical Buddha himself. When historical Buddha gives the teaching, he knows each and every person's mind, their gross mind, their subtle mind, their very subtle mind, their subconscious level mind, that even they themselves may not know, but Buddha can see in a glance. So in that case, someone, if it's a Buddha who can give teaching based on that, it will hit on the spot. Now, really, we are unfortunate not to be able to meet the historical Buddha, but we are fortunate still to meet other teachers. And for example, myself, I'm a Dharma teacher, but I'm not historical Buddha level. So when I give teaching, I give with a genuine intention, it may benefit, but at the same time, to know a very subtlest aspect of subconscious level mind, that's very hard. That only Padmasambhava and level of Padmasambhava and historical Buddha and Milarepa, they can do that. So how we can do is really learn the message they have passed on the relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta, that which I can give you the guidance, that you can follow, work with your mind, with mindfulness when you have the intention, how your intentions are. Is it deceptive or is it naive? Or is it deceptive? You catch on that, and then you can change it. A historical Buddha may work it out like in 5 minutes. For me, it may take 2 hours. But you will get there after 2 hours, for example. But that based on our, I can't do a magic. I can't do a magic. You have to do the magic. The magic is your willingness to work with yourself. That is the magic. As Buddha said, I've shown you the path of liberation. Now it's up to you. If you don't do it, then nothing will happen. You have to bring bodhicitta mind. You have to awaken the bodhicitta mind which is inside you. And then you have to engage that, and you have to see its preciousness, why it is so important for you to, study the Bodhicharyavatara teaching and follow each paramita, way of life, and practice that and bring that into action. Then you can see a raw quality of paramita. You will have direct experience of those, each, paramita of generosity, paramita of ethics, paramita of patience, paramita of one-pointed concentration, paramita of wisdom, finally. All this, one by one. Your heart will open up. Your intelligence will be so rich and open up. So therefore, Dharma is very profound, meaning how the depth of your mind is very profound. You think you know yourself? I don't think you know yourself. Yes, what you know, yes, I like Haagen-Dazs ice cream, or I don't like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I like Tom and I like the, what is called, Jerry, some different brand of ice cream. Ben and Jerry. I was saying Tom and Jerry. Ben and Jerry. You see, but that's your gross level of your mind. That's not the subtle level of your mind. Because, for example, if you see, you aspire for a certain thing, but once you get that, then you were looking for something else that didn't give you satisfaction. You don't know about yourself. So many things, what you're really seeking deep inside is a freedom. And that can only come with a genuine bodhicitta. It can never be given to you, on a silver platter by the ego's mind and neurotic mind. It can never do that. It doesn't have the nature, it doesn't have the potential, nor it has the nature to do that. The only thing which has the nature to do that is the two kinds of bodhicitta, relative and absolute bodhicitta, which can give you happiness for the time being, and happiness ultimately is the bodhicitta mind. There's no mind like that. So, I'd like to say that. And then tonight is meditation now. Meditation is not, meditation is awareness. Here we're not particularly talking about, intentions. Though you can use, perhaps you can say, a clear state of mind. Now, I wouldn't call that an intention mind. Intention minds mean I like to go to the east, I like to go to the west, I like to do this, and I don't like to do that. That's more intention. And you can also say the intention of meditation is to reach a state of mind which is, not falling into any extreme or not into any extreme, to be in utter open state of mind, which is more deeper mind, more subtle mind. Actually, in some way, it's getting closer to non-dual mind, you can say. You see, meditation is a state that is getting closer to absolute bodhicitta. Not absolute bodhicitta yet, but much closer than the karmic phenomenal world of intention. And of course, as far as any subconscious level or gross conscious level, they still fall into karmic phenomena. You don't transcend karma in a subconscious mind state, because still there's notion of clinging. But it's closer. Now it seems like intention is not like obvious, like I like to sit on the red chair, don't want to sit on the yellow chair. That's very clear intention. But meditation is very clear in its own awareness that you don't want to fall into any extreme. You see, you're trying to discover a deeper part of your mind, which is calm, abiding by nature, peaceful by nature, and which is free, doesn't give you any sort of hardship. It doesn't give you any kind of demand. It doesn't make demand like intention would make. Intention would make a demand. You should have positive intention. You should abandon negative intention. So that's like a demand. So it keeps you more, there's more struggle involved with intention. But when you do meditation, you are like your struggles are getting dissolved, so to speak. You know, your struggle getting less, or your, you know, because important thing in meditation, it is said that first you should sit in a most relaxed way, not struggling, most relaxed way, and of course, you know, with the right kind of posture, sitting posture. The zafutan should be supporting your butt higher, you know, not in a soft sofa set, but like a firm zafutan, so you can sit. It's supposed your butt, so your body gets straight, but then again relax, not uptight at all, totally relax. Not only your body relax, then of course your mind, you know, relax. And simply watching your breath. And you don't put any demand to your thoughts that I should have positive thoughts and I should not have negative thoughts. Both are simply considered just a thought. You see so much less demand. Of course, it tells you not to get distracted. But then, you know, but the way not to get distracted is through relax. Not through like uptight or struggle, but through relax. You allow the mind to open, to allow the mind to come. If it arises, arise. But then, you know, simply watching your mind, thoughts arises, whatever the thoughts are, emotions are, they arise. You don't go to the guilt trip, you don't go to the any kind of trip, but simply see that as a thought and just simply watch, and they come and dissolve by itself. Like waves of the ocean. The waves of the ocean come up and it goes back and comes up, goes back. Whatever comes up has to go down and it's just to dissolve. And when you allow it to be utterly open, it will naturally dissolve. The problem with us in our life, we don't allow our mind to be open. We always struggle. We try to make things out of nothing. And then, you know, and then so much mental struggle, like a traffic. And then you created that. You didn't allow your mind to rest in its natural state. And therefore, you experience all the chaotic situation, like a traffic jam, you know, for like 5 hours traffic jam. Which is terrible traffic jam. Then you need to pee, you can't get out of your car, the gas is running, the AC is not working, and then you need to get back home, and all the things one after another, that's how our life situation is happening, a life going in that way. All because we didn't know how to deal with the mind. And that's what you're learning in meditation, is how to deal with your mind. Not in that constricted way, but allowing the mind to be in its natural awareness, natural state. That awareness, when you allow it to be in its natural state, the awareness takes its own different state. Not that constricting, chaotic state, but rather utterly open and transcendent. And as a result of that, for example, if you do your meditation, you know, in the morning time, before you go to work, the whole day you will see the situation happening in your life less chaotic. You're seeing every day the same place you're going, the same people you're dealing with, the same situation you're dealing with, but the way the level of stress is so much less. Everything is same building, same people, same kind of job, same kind of situation. But the level of stress is so much less. Why? Because you know you're dealing with you learn how to deal with your mind in a more natural, holistic way, if you use the word, or more organic way, you know, how the mind functions. So that's the very important, that we need the calm, abiding mind for our well-being and peace of mind and peace of life, and your sanity, basic sanity. Without that kind of basic sanity, you will go crazy. You will start doing all kinds of crazy things, negative things. A lot of negative things. That brings a lot of negative experience in life. And a lot of negative situation will happen. Not only suffering. Of course, suffering happens due to many situations. So a lot of difficulty, negative situation will arise when you don't know how to deal with your mind. So it's very important, the practice of meditation, very, very important to how we can keep sanity and peace and joy in our mind. Okay? So then now let's do a sitting practice. As I said, sit in the straight, comfortable way. And then gaze gently. Everything should be natural. You see one thing. The way you gaze should be gentle and natural. When it's natural, then it's gentle, naturally. Natural gazing, natural sitting, naturally relaxing, not putting any demand. And there you are, in the right posture, and your hand like on your knees, or, in the, this is also meditation posture, and this is also meditation posture. Doesn't matter, whichever you choose. And those who you cannot sit on a zafutan, you can sit on a chair, but more like a firm chair, so your body becomes straight, not like on a sofa set. I would never recommend doing meditation on a sofa set, because then your body will sink. Your body sinks, then your mind sinks. So you will not gain any benefit out of that. Probably you will get into bad habit. You will have a sinking meditation. And sinking meditation means deep samsara. You will sink. That's what's going to happen. So it's not good. So you need to have firm support to sit, and comfortable and natural. Then you breathe. Very simple. When you breathe, you just watch your mind. In fact, don't have too much overwatching mind too. It's like, we say it's too good to be true. Like if you try to control every thoughts, this thought arising, I should know, I should let go. Let me do this thing with this thought, let me do that with that. Then again, you're not relaxing, you're not being natural. Your mind will feel clustered, and you will feel anxiety and worrying about, am I doing the right way or am I doing it wrong? And that's not meditation. You need to have some level of, we call boldness or gut when you deal with the mind. Because until now, we didn't really have a gut and we didn't really have a bold. Only once you begin to have bodhicitta mind, again, remind you that you have learned to be bold, how to be natural. You're never bold to be natural. You're always afraid and fearful of your thoughts and your life situation. Always too careful. And allowing the mind to be natural, it teaches you to be, if you use the word bold, fine, like bold, like sort of carefree. Not careless, but carefree. That's important. It's like if you love your mind too much, it will not be carefree. Like you're too attached, too obsessed with that. The meditation, the way the mind works, it has to be carefree. And once you're carefree, don't worry about your awareness. Awareness is always there. You're not going to lose your awareness just being carefree. It's like, am I going to lose my mind? Am I going to lose where I am? Am I going to lose my identity? It's not going to happen because there's a spark in your mind called awareness. And that awareness, you need to learn. What is awareness? How does the awareness function in my mind? And what way the awareness function in my mind? Through relaxation. And then you see the light of that awareness. But you don't see a light by, grasping and struggling and then churning up. You don't see that. You have to allow the mind to be natural. So simply watching your breath, that's it. And then other thing, don't expect too much in meditation. More you expect, the more obscurations arise, the more obstacles arise. Because that expectation is another struggle that blocks your mind from being natural. Just do it, that's it. Every day you are, whether it's 20 minutes meditation or half an hour meditation, whatever, you just do it. Rain or shine, doesn't matter, you just do it. And that's it. You dedicate the merit at the end, then you go into post-meditation state, whatever your activities that you need to do. With your mindfulness, of course, it'll be very good. And then you will be able to, step by step, your mind will be free of ignorance, free of aggression, because your mind is natural now. The aggression comes when you feel a threat. When people go to war, one cannot go to war, without anger. So the world of aggression, you feel it's arising when you feel a threat, and then you need to fight against it. But if you can dissolve the waves, which are creating the aggression or any particular afflictive emotion, neurosis, it comes and dissolves. You conquered your mind. You become master of your mind. You don't become slave of your mind. If you are prey to aggression, you are a slave. If you are prey to attachment, you are a slave. If you are prey to ignorance, you are a slave. You are really not free. The whole Dharma teaching is how to make you free. So that's learning how to deal with the mind. Learning through meditation practice. Very, very important. Okay, so let's do a meditation now. So we can have some discussion if you have any questions.
So the question is, Rinpoche, can you say more about how self-deception can lead to rebirth in a lower realm?
You know, for example, self-centeredness, which is basically ego. But ego is tremendous destructive force with aggression, you know. And that's very destructive how the ultimate deception, so to speak, take you to the lowest realm of samsara, where there is so much intense suffering that you can't even imagine, where there is no gap at all, like suffering in some space. There's no space, it's just pure suffering, like your finger is burning in lava, like a volcanic lava. Constantly, you wouldn't have any space, a gap to think about. Oh, now my finger is out, I feel less pain. It's so intense that the karma gets so strong that negative karma ripens in a state that is like oneness with pain. That's how the lower state of mind, and that's how the deception can lead after accumulating self-deceptive negative karma more and more and more and more and more, and then there is so much pile up, and then as a result, those huge pile up of negative karma translate into suffering where there is no space, and that's called hell realm. There's no space at all. In the most intense hell realm. And sometimes on a human level, we can also go through like that, certain people who go on the verge of suicide. Like they couldn't think of any space to calm down, and it's just like one big pain. And of course, it'll be nothing comparable to the hell realm kind of suffering. That is just immense, hard to imagine that. But that's possible. It's like, I sometimes wonder how one of the living sign of hell realm is certain bacteria who lives in volcanic lava, in a burning lava. The scientists discover they're bacteria and they have consciousness, but they don't die. You know, it's just the karma is not over. Even they're so tiny, but they live in that lava and they're bacterial. So it's like that is a hell realm. And can you imagine the intensity of being 24 hours in that lava? Yeah, something like that. So when we accumulate tremendous accumulation of afflictive emotion, negative karma, then a state can come. And at the closest in a human realm is like when people find no answer at all, then they kill themselves, suicide. I think it's getting close to this, something like that.
That's all, Rinpoche. No other questions.
Okay. So then, today we talk about bodhicitta mind and intention. I would really like you to focus, read the Bodhicharyavatara teaching, and read chapter by chapter. And does it make sense or doesn't make sense? And each one of those state, how it can lead you out of that self-deception and ignorant and take you to state of liberation. I think that's extremely important to look. And so I like to study that and reflect that. And of course, please meditate every day. Very, very crucial. And then your life will be so much better and so much joyful. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's do the world peace prayer. in the world in general, and in this nation, may not even their names, disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard. May virtuous qualities and merit and prosperity greatly increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rise. In the world in general, and in this nation, may not even the names, disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard. May virtuous qualities and merit and prosperity greatly increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rise. In the world in general, and in this nation, may not even the names, disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard. May virtuous qualities and merit and prosperity greatly increase, and may continuous good fortune and sublime well-being perfectly rises. By this merit, may all beings gain omniscience,
and
thus
thus defeat the neurosis and negative actions which are the enemies. From the turbulent waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of cyclic existence, may all beings be liberated.
Okay, thank you very much. Good night or good day wherever you are. Okay.